Hello and welcome to your chapter 6.6 video on finding rational zeros. So the whole point that we've been factoring polynomials and even dividing polynomials is because we want to solve polynomials. We spent a whole chapter solving quadratics, and now I want to solve something larger than a quadratic. So in this section we're going to concentrate on finding rational zeros. So remember, finding the zeros is a form of solving, and I'm solving for those x-intercepts, those are my zeros. But I'm, at the moment, only going to find the rational ones. So that would be the ones that can be written as fractions. So we have the rational zero theorem. And it says if we have a polynomial, so remember this is just the standard form for a polynomial. If we have a polynomial that has integer coefficients, then every rational zero is going to be of the following form. So they're going to, remember I said rational meant fraction. So the form p over q, where p is going to be a factor of your constant, so it's going to be a factor of your a sub 0 here at the end, and q is going to be a factor of the leading coefficient. So if I find all my factors of the constant, and then I find all my factors of the leading coefficient, and I write them as fractions, then I can test them to see if they're going to be zeros or not. Alright, so we're going to do what we just talked about, and we're going to find our factors of p and our factors of q. So p is 30, and your factors of 30 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Okay, those are all numbers that go into 30. Our factors of our leading coefficient here, our leading coefficient's 1, so it's factors 1. So we're going to write out our list of p's and q, or p over q, and we need to also take into consideration that these could be negative, like you could have negative 5 times negative 6 to make a positive 30. So we're going to do plus or minus 1 over 1, plus or minus 2 over 1, plus or minus 3 over 1, and I'm putting the 1 there just so you can see the 1. Obviously the 1 is not changing these numbers at all, but if your leading coefficient was not a 1, then you would have to be taking into consideration whatever your leading coefficient was. And if your leading coefficient has multiple factors, like if your leading coefficient is 6, you have to do all of your p's over 1, all of your p's over 2, all of your p's over 3, and all of your p's over 6. You have to go over every factor of q. Okay, if this polynomial has rational zeros, it's going to be one of these 16 options here because we got the plus or minus. Now you could check using just direct substitution if you wanted to, and you could start plugging in these 16 numbers, and you want to get a 0 out of it because a 0 would mean that it's a 0. Okay, it's an x-intercept. Or you can use synthetic substitution, and synthetic substitution actually has some benefits. So let me set up for synthetic substitution. So there's my coefficients, and you just need to randomly pick one. So I'm going to pick 2. So then I'm going to drop, multiply, add, multiply, that's a 4, add, multiply, add. Okay, so I got lucky there. I just randomly picked it. So I know that 2 is a 0. But there could be 3 zeros here, and so I need to keep looking. That doesn't mean that's the only one I have. So the good thing about synthetic is that you can stair step off of it. You don't have to start over. I can come here and just stair step off these 3, because what I've done is I've gone from x cubed and now down to x squared. And you can keep all of your possibilities, or if you want to, you can tailor them to what you have now, because now I have a 15, and so like I could say, well, 30 is not going to go into 15, 10 isn't going to go into 15, 6 isn't going to go into 15, and 2 isn't going to go into 15. So then I have fewer choices here. So from what is left, I'm going to pick I'm going to pick 5. So I'm going to drop, multiply, add, multiply. I am on a roll with my guessing here today. All right, I found another 0. Now, if you did not find a 0, then what you would just do, I would probably suggest you just would erase just this green part and then randomly pick another number. And sometimes you have to randomly pick several numbers before you get the one you need. Okay, so now I'm down to just this little, so this would have been x cubed up here, then x squared, so this is now x. And we can kind of use our 3 there as a hint. I'm going to probably try -3. So if I drop and then multiply and then add, there we go. There's my last 0. And I can only have 3 zeros, okay, because it's an x cubed. So then I am done. Alright, so those are my 3 zeros. That is working with your p's over q's. That's all you need to know for this one. We'll do some more examples in class. Let me know if you have questions.